Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. New subscribers, welcome. Returning subscribers, welcome back. Guys, in this video, you are going to hear a summary of today's event. As you guys know, there was a big brawl in the parliament today where Mark Golding failed to deliver a budget presentation or a budget speech, and no one walked away with an understanding of what Mark Golding is proposing for a budget. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his cabinet walked out of the parliament when Mark Golding voiced his disapproval for Mrs. Holness being the Speaker of the House after Mark Golding and his opposition team welcomed her back in the summer when she first became Speaker. They said nothing of disapproval during that time, but today they did. And so Mark Golding finished his speech outside of the parliament after the government cabinet walked out. Have a listen to what this person has to say.
Jamaica has gained independence some 62 years ago, coming August 6, 1962. And therefore, we have always had our budget presentations in the manner that is most eloquent for our nation of Jamaica's magnitude and international repute. I was at the National Stadium enjoying the track and field meet, and today when I came home tonight, and my good friend in the paper Resistance sent me articles and clippings of the today, March 19th, 2024, the budget presentation of the Leader of Opposition. In opening the budget presentation, of course, the Minister of Finance was eloquent. It might have been a harsh budget for the majority of the working class people, but it was done in the fine style of all former ministers of finance. Then he was eloquently followed by the spokesperson from the opposition on finance, Julian Robinson, who put forward who dissected the presentation of the Minister of Finance and then presented his programs. Today, Thursday, should have been the opposition leader presentation, contribution to the budget debate. The nation was shocked, however, shocked out of its senses, because what happened is that the white UK-born Mark Golding ran out with a gun in his hand, and he once said that the PNP people or the riser people must run out and the Labour people wicked, run out and the Mark Golding run out wicked today. And most igglers, who teachers used to like to use to put down students, most igglers in the coronation market became quality persons today. But the opposition leader became dog vomit, because never in our history have we ever seen anything like this. The opposition leader, in a desperation mode, knowing that there seems to be unrest inside the People's National Party to remove him, came today with, my gosh, what would you term it now? It's worse than Robbie Rosen or a Melly. It was a vulgarity of the worst kind. A prostitute who was scorned by a client, and the opposition leader had nothing to offer to the budget debate. He came talking about SSL and Commission of Inquiry and illicit sex. The Governor General has been insulted, His Royal Highness King Charles has been insulted, the Parliament has been insulted, the Caribbean Court of Justice has been insulted. My God, the Constitution of Jamaica has been insulted. The People's National Party, founded by the brilliant, distinguished Norman Washington Manley, on May 23rd, 1938, and formally launched on September 18th. All of that. Marcus Garvey has been insulted. Wow, what a piece of vulgarity. The entire nation is in shock. School children, higglers, uncartmen, street sweepers, doctors, lawyers, nurses, engineers, artists, artisans, you name it, even prostitutes have been insulted by this display, by this white UK-born man. And of course his mentor, to try and salvage something. I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but he's trying to gain him some quality crowd support. Him come out and talk a Vibes Cartel, a King's County, PJ Patterson. I am hoping that Mark Golding will be the death of him, but this is the worst thing we have ever seen happen within our parliament. My goodness.
Investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the Speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The Speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government today. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure. Mr. Speaker.
Members.
Mr. Speaker, the failure to identify the so-called illicit 6 MPs.
Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides.
For anyone wondering what my position may be on whether Juliet Holness is appropriately sitting on the speaker bench, I don't believe it is appropriate for the spouse of a prime minister to be there. However, these guys approved of her. They said nothing of disapproval if you look at the article here. So, it is utmost hypocritical of Mark Golding to come at this time saying what he's saying in a budget presentation to boot. So he completes his budget speech outside of the parliament. And you guys listen to the speech. It has nothing to do with a budget. It is all about attacks on the government as if it's campaign season or some attempt to seize power.
I don't have a microphone, but I'd like to finish my speech. I'm very near the end. So, I hope somebody will film this. And I hope that you'll be able to hear what I say.
We have any media here?
Yes.
Hold on, 1 second.
Your media?
Yes, from the Gleaner.
He's from the Gleaner.
Oh, Gleaner, all right.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, I am.
The point I was making when the Prime Minister chose to walk out and was left the Parliament without a quorum. I think it's the first time this has ever happened in independent Jamaica. That in a budget speech, the opposition has been denied the opportunity to finish their presentation. And here I am assembled on Duke Street. I was near the end anyway, but there were some important points that needed to be made. And I'm going to continue. The point I made when they walked out was this. When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, does not sit well with the tradition that the Speaker must act independently of the government of the day. That is a fundamental principle of the Westminster system of democracy. And it is protected in a number of ways. For example, in the United Kingdom, nobody runs against the Speaker in an election. They make sure the Speaker is elected because that person is supposed to be independent. So that, I think, that move to do what happened in our case here was inconsistent with that level of independence that's required. The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 6 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment remains a festering sore, only made worse by the Prime Minister's gag order on his own cabinet ministers from speaking publicly on matters to do with the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister's statutory declarations of assets and liabilities and income have not been certified and published by the Integrity Commission for successive years. It is untenable for the head of government of Jamaica not to be in good standing with the country's Integrity Commission for a prolonged period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the House, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised. Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a cover-up of this shameful debacle, which has tainted our country's reputation as a safe and well-regulated place for Jamaicans at home and abroad to save and invest. In fact, a commission of inquiry into this SSL scandal will be needed. Jamaica is crying out for change in this area. This is why I have identified an entire cluster of portfolios within our own governance structure to address the now desperate area of transparent and accountable governance. We must translate good governance principles into tangible action that restores trust and confidence in our leaders and preserves our cherished freedoms and democratic way of life. Change means no more hiding of the truth from Jamaicans. Change means no more deception in official public communication. Change means putting transparency and communication at the heart of good governance. It affirms that respect is due to those who elect governments and pay taxes. That's why we will implement a comprehensive strategy centered around engagement and accessibility. Our aim is to ensure that every voice is heard, to bridge the gap between leadership and the people. This means holding town hall meetings, physical and virtual, to give every citizen a voice in the decision-making process. It means conducting community walks, listening to the concerns of our constituents, and working together to find solutions. It means providing regular progress reports on projects and programs and keeping the public informed and involved every step of the way. Change means practicing accountability as a central principle of good governance. That's why, after the terrible incident of the woman being beaten in public with a stool, I tabled an impeachment bill in the House of Representatives in 2021 to provide a mechanism to hold to account any parliamentarian whose egregious conduct brings his or her office into disrepute. Despite this having been a manifesto promise of this JLP government from the 2016 general elections, my impeachment bill has not been allowed to go forward to a joint select committee for wide stakeholder consultation and then be passed into law. They don't believe in accountability. When I entered the political arena, there were some entrenched ways of doing things. Making change happen requires a fresh approach. Things will be very different under my watch, because I will tolerate none of it. The last PNP administration put local government in the Constitution. We passed the 3 strategic laws to modernize the legal framework of local government in keeping with modern best practices. One of those laws, the Local Governance Act, makes provision in Section 18 for the recall of an elected mayor, and it may be initiated by a petition alleging a charge of gross misconduct or dereliction of duty, and it has to be signed by at least 25% of the registered voters in the city municipality. The next PNP government will institute a fair and balanced recall system for elected officials, both at the local government and parliamentary level, to deepen accountability and empower the voters with recourse where they are badly let down by whoever they elect to parliament. Change means not taking away the rights of the people of Portmore without proper consultations with them. followed by a referendum to let them make the decision whether or not they want to give up their city municipality status and their right to directly elect their mayor, a right given to them by the People's National Party. Jamaica has spoken, and the PNP has listened to the concerns of the people. We are offering solutions based on thorough research and consultation with our stakeholders. We will embark on this journey together with the people towards a future where opportunity for advancement is not a privilege, but a right for all. We commit to good governance for the people of Jamaica, not as some abstract concept, but as a living promise fulfilled to every citizen of our nation. We are on a fast track on the road to change, and we invite all Jamaicans along this exciting journey in a spirit of hope for a better and brighter future for all our people. And I would have ended, thank you, Madam Speaker, but I won't end that way because I'm not in the Parliament. I'm on Duke Street with my family.
Trumpet has sounded, my countrymen all. Awake from your slumber and answer the call. The torch has been lighted, the dawn is at hand. Who joins in the fight for his own native land? Land of my birth, I pray to be loyal and faithful, true to thee.
This is becoming more and more pathetic each day. To me, this is only about embarrassing and bullying the government and intimidating the government out of office. I mean, I can't tell you anything about the budget speech. I can't. Because what really made the headlines is, this issue that happened where they ended up walking out. And it's just a total mess. This is not a parliament. This is a one-upsmanship, desperate attempt to seize power. That's all it is. Anyway, guys, keep it locked here. Jamaica Politics Uncovered, where you get your political news, reviews, and updates. You are not going to get it like this anyplace else. Make sure you're subscribed, you have your notification on, and you invite your friends them over here. See you in the next video.